and welcome to the first demonstration on using the Mixed Media Kit by MoonFullArt. So today in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how I created this small collage on a watercolor paper with a watercolor background. The supplies we will be using is our kit, our Mixed Media Kit. Some watercolor paper. The pad I have is 11 by 15, and I'm just going to tear it into smaller pieces. Paper towels. Something to act as a palette. For me, you may not need one. Watercolors. This is a set of student grade watercolors. You can use that, or you can use professional watercolors. Both will work. Scissors, small scissors, some form of glue. I will be using acrylic gel medium, but for this project you can use a glue stick, you can use like a white glue, like an Elmer's glue. Either of those will work. Oops, sorry. Water, a little container of water. I have a bone folder because I'm going to be folding and tearing paper. And I have a silicone spatula because I'm going to take some of the gel medium and put it on the palette. And a variety of brushes. So let's get started. We're going to start by tearing the paper down. Which is just a matter of folding it in half. Creasing that fold. You can use scissors to crease the fold. You can use a butter knife. You don't need a bone folder. I just happen to have one. I'm going to crease both sides because watercolor paper is thick. And then I'm going to tear it in half. And I'm going to repeat. Oops. So you will notice that when I'm folding it this way, I'm getting more resistance. So see that cracking? That means that I'm folding against the grain of the paper, and the paper doesn't want to fold in this manner. It doesn't want to fold this way, but it's gonna, because I'm gonna make it. See, and it still didn't fold evenly, but that's okay. Paper grain matters when you're doing something like bookbinding, where the integrity of the folds is important. But in this case, since we're just tearing the paper in half, the integrity of the fold doesn't matter because it's about to disappear anyway. So if you want to work on bigger pieces like this, you are welcome to stop folding and tearing now. I'm going to continue to fold and tear these more because I don't want the pieces this big. So again, notice how when I'm folding with the grain, it folds easier, and you're not seeing all that cracking. sometimes I fold on both sides if I feel like the fold is not sharp enough to tear easily. And this is where it, see how bouncy it is? It doesn't want to fold this way, but it's gonna anyway, because I said so. Because I'm the boss, not the paper. At least in this instance anyway. Sometimes the paper is the boss of me. I'm starting the crease from the center and folding up, increasing up, then down. So see how that kind of cracking in that fold? That is another clue that you're folding against the grain. This also works with something as simple as printer paper. Go ahead, grab a piece of printer paper and fold it in a couple different ways. Fold it in half a couple different times and you will be able to tell which half is against the grain versus not. Okay, now that that's done, I have a nice collection of little watercolor paper squares. Oh, you know what? I didn't tell you the other thing that I like to use is I'm getting water everywhere, is a little spray bottle. You don't have to have a spray bottle. You could use your brush and your container of water to wet your paper. So, let's pick our image first. So we don't want any of the little black and white ones, though you could absolutely do this with maybe not that one, but any of the smaller black and white images would also make a great focal point as well. What about a flower pot? Let's see. I think it's a little too big. How about this one? Oh, that's pretty. Let's do this one. And it's not too big. Yeah, let's do this one. And let's grab, no, not that. Let's just grab a piece of cotton and a piece of book text. And let's grab our watercolors. Now for my watercolors, because I have them in this little student pack, the student palette, I'm going to use my spray bottle and wet all the colors. Not too much, just a little. And then I'm going to grab my focal image. I'm going to sit this up out of the way. Move that out of the way. And then I'm going to grab my scissors and my focal image, and I'm going to cut the image out from its background. I'm going to fussy cut a little, but not super a lot. You could also do this with a X-Acto knife. If you have one of those, that's sometimes easier for some people. I don't think I can use an X-Acto knife on camera though, because my head would be in the way. You probably don't really want to watch me cut paper either, do you? Okay, I'm just going to show you this part. Okay, so around this fuzzy part, I'm not going to be pretty precise. I'm just going to go in and out a few times and call it good. Because we can, so I'm just going to do this. I hope you can see. Go around, and then I'm just going to go around this way. I'm going to leave those there for the moment. And then come here and fussy cut this half. Oopsie. This is harder to do on camera than it is because I'm trying to keep my head out of the way. Normally my head would be in the way. I'm just going to carefully tear that off. And do this big easy curve. So it's okay if you cut some of the image off. That's okay. So for this part, I'm also not going to be super fussy about it. I just want it close. So, see, it's not super fussy, but it's close. Okay, let's get these scraps out of the way. And let's grab a piece of watercolor paper and our watercolors. So this image has greens and purples and pinks. So we're going to use those colors as well as some colors that would be opposite. So the opposite of purple is yellow. So we definitely want some yellow in our background to help that purple, the purple in the flower, to help that kind of stand out. And we have these these light and dark pinks. So we want some red. So see how when I put this against the red, the pink looks bolder and brighter. So that's kind of those are the colors we want in our background. And for all this green, we want more blues. See how it kind of stands out against the blues? And of course, we're going to add some greens as well, some lighter greens. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is wet my paper. If you don't have a spray bottle, you can use the biggest brush you have. In my case, it's this. This is the biggest brush I have. Let's bring some water over. I'm gonna wet the brush. Give it a minute to get really, really wet. And then just wet the paper. Easy peasy. And with this wet brush, hold on a second, let me put that on a paper towel. And with this big brush, we can also start our background. So let's add some yellow. And you're just gonna, you can't see, sorry. You're just going to put the brush in the paint and just dab it around. And smush it around a little. Where'd my focal image go? So we've got those pinks. We want some more pinks with that yellow. It's gonna go orange, and that's okay. Just a little here and there. Gonna rinse the brush off because now we're going to add some greens. I'm also gonna put my wad of paper towels over here next to the water so that I can dab that brush off just a little. I don't want it dripping everywhere. Where'd my focal image go? So I want some light greens. And I'm just dabbing the paint onto the paper. I think I want some dark green too. I'm gonna get a little more water and spread that out some. I'm going to rinse the brush because now I'm going to add some purples. And I don't want the green and the purple to mix on the brush. I want the purple to stay kind of light. And I'm going to dab that purple into some of that yellow, but not a lot. Put some bright ones down here. I'm going to rinse off the brush again. Tap it. And then I'm going to take my paper towels and dab the watercolor. And yes, I did remove some, and that's okay. I think there's a little too much orange up here. So I'm going to wet that and dab. There, that's better. It's okay that your paper is curling. It's curling because there's water on one side and not on the other side. And that's just the grains in the paper trying to rebalance itself. So I'm going to let this dry. And then I'm going to come in and add more watercolor. And then we're going to glue. Okay, now that this is dry, I'm going to lay my focal image down and see what other colors it needs to help it pop off the background more. In fact, I think I want it a little bit over this way, maybe. What do you think? think this area over here needs more contrast. I think we need some blue over here to contrast against all this green. And I like this half. We'll need some dark. Down in something dark down in here, and I think I'll just use the book text to help with that. So I think the only thing this really needs is a little blue. That's what I'm thinking. Let's move you out of harm's way. Let's go with some light blues first. Let's see. Okay, I want the paper wet. Helps the watercolor paint move around more and not just kind of soak up. And again, I'm just tapping the brush. Not doing anything fancy, I promise I'm not. And I'm gonna add a little bit of dark blue right in here. It's too much. And I'm gonna dab with the paper towel. Excellent. Ugh. Is that enough? Teensy bit more. That's too much. Step. Yeah, right there. That's perfect. Rinse this brush off. Okay. Yes. I think that's what we want. I think that's what I want. Maybe just a teensy bit more. Teensy bit. Right there. Stop. Be still. Okay, that's too much. Dab. That's not enough. A little more right there. I can't get it right, y'all. Okay, there. That's what I want. Yeah, I think that's what I want. We'll see when it dries. You can always add more watercolor if it's still not enough. So we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to play with our collage. Oh, this one has book text and the moon. So while that's drying, let's grab our moon. Okay, now that this is also dry, we are going to grab our focal image. And our book text and our cotton. Push that out of the way for a minute. Okay. So we put that there. I think I want it more there. And for our moon image, I'm not going to fussy cut this at all. I'm just going to cut some of the excess white off. Then I'm going to just kind of tear it anywhere. Doesn't even matter. Maybe like that. And then for the book text, I'm also just going to tear it. Just tear it. It's just paper. It's alright. Tear it again. So that I kind of have a diagonal strip of it. And decide how I want that. I definitely don't want all of that. So just, again, just tearing. See? I'm going to tear some of that bottom half off as well. Oh, I like that. And maybe we will take our cotton and make a little slit and tear it. Little slit and tear. I think I want a little bit. So I'm gonna cut it and tear it. Maybe I want the very, very, very little piece. Let's see. How about that? Okay, get under there, please. Thank you. Okay, that's cricket. Yeah, I like that. I think I want more of the printed part down there. So I'm just going to make a little cut. Oops. And tear. And I'm just going to cut off this part. And we're going to put this under here. I like. Yes. Okay. So all of these little pieces that we're not going to use, I'm going to put them back in the bag. Even the teeny pieces, even these little bitty pieces, back in the bag they go, so that I can use them later. Even this little piece, back in the bag it goes, so that I can use it later. Don't fall onto the floor. Okay, so now that I have the layout the way I want it, I'm going to grab my messy palette and my glue of choice and a rubber spatula. Let's See, it's like way down there. And I don't want to stick my brush way down there because then glue gets all on the handle and it's kind of a mess. So, put some there. That's way more glue than I need, but that's okay. That's okay. And I have this wet rag that we used in the watercolor. I'm going to get some of that. And the good thing about having a rubber spatula is that even when it dries, I can just peel it off. So I like that. Where to put that? Put that there. I don't need the big brush anymore because so it can stay over there and dry. I don't need scissors. Okay. Now, one of the things that you can do at this stage is you can take a picture of your collage layout so that you can remember how you had it. The way I usually go about this is I grab one of my cheap brushes. Let's use this one. And let's see, I think the book text is at the very, very bottom. Yes. So that's what I'm going to glue down first. I'm going to hold it in place with these fingers and grab some glue. And glue that piece down. Oops. Get back in there. And then I think this is the thing that's next. So I'm going to put some glue there. And glue that down. And now I'm going to hold the image kind of up there, lift it, and glue underneath. Yeah. I don't want to glue this edge down because I want the stamped cotton to go underneath it. So I'm going to lay it down. And then I'm going to hold it and lift it and put glue underneath. I'm going to do the other side. Have enough glue? I think so. With this side, I'm sorry, you probably can't see very well. But I'm going to lift this side and put glue under there too. And I'm going to press that down. And now I'm going to put glue on top of there so that I can glue down the bottom of the image. And I'm going to use my wet paper, my stamp paper towel to wipe up any excess glue. there and there. You probably can't see it. Probably not showing up on camera, but trust me, it's there. The excess glue. It's best, if possible, to wipe that up when it's still wet. Now, I'm going to let this dry. Okay, there's not enough, there's not, like this part is already lifting, so there's not enough glue under there. So let's fix that right quick. Press that down again. Grab my damp paper towel and dab up the excess glue. Don't, at this point, I try not to rub, I try to press and dab so that I don't accidentally tear the image that I just spent time cutting out and gluing. Okay. Now I'm just gonna let this dry and then just come back and decide what it needs more of. Be right back. Okay, now that this is dry, I'm going to go around and look for things that are not glued down well. So like I noticed this corner here is not glued down well. This leaf right here is not glued down well. This edge is not glued down well. Okay, so let's fix those. Okay, so now that we really have everything glued down well, every little bit, and all that glue is dry, let's add some finishing touches. Let's move this out of the way since we're done gluing things. This brush that has glue on it, I'm going to stick that in the water for now so that the glue doesn't dry on the brush. Okay, so let's look at this one, the original one. So notice how the moon sign kind of blends into the background, but on this one it doesn't. And notice how the book text blends into the background here and here. And on this one, it doesn't. It just kind of stands out too much. So what we're going to do to create this blending into the background is add more watercolor. Except this time, we're going to use a significantly smaller brush. So the last time we used the big brush to get big watercolor splashes, but this time we're going to use a much smaller brush to get a little detailed watercolor in there. This is watercolors. Okay, so in this area we have some blues and some greens. So I'm going to wet my brush. No, you can't. Water's off camera again. I'm going to wet my brush. Uh-oh. I need my paper towels back. So, I'm going to wet my brush. Dab dab off the tip, and let's go light blue this time. See, that's still too much. Dab. Let's some more weight to that. Okay. Let's go with some light green here, over here. And let's go with some light green. Light green all in here. Pull some of that off and dab some of that off with our watercolor, with our paper towel. Dab. 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 Okay. That's better. I think because we've got purples in here, we need to add just a teensy bit of purple to that. Just a teensy bit. Just a teensy bit. Dab. Dab. Okay, that's better. Now for this little section down here, which stands out too much, we want this to blend in more. We've got some oranges and some yellows down here. So let's start with yellow because it's really easy to, well, yellow's very forgiving because it just disappears easily. Good. Oops. Now, let's try adding just a teensy bit of black. You couldn't see that. But no, too much black. Hold on. I'm holding my brush kind of upright and getting just a little black on the tip of my brush. Then I'm going to go around this edge to create some shadow. We want this this flower pot to look like it's actually sitting on something, and the way to accomplish that is by creating shadow underneath it. That's too dark. Okay, let's add a little, there's a lot of yellow and green over there. Okay, let's just add a teensy bit of this light brown to that black, because the black is just too dark now. Okay, a little bit of black again. Yeah, it's better. Okay. And that is a wrap. I'm thinking about adding some shadow to this green leaf here. This green leaf here. Yeah. Because it's blending in to the text a little too much. Let's go with okay, let's go with brown. You can't see which brown I'm choosing. Let's go with this. No, not that one. Let's go with this grayish brown. Oh, we're just gonna add a little bit of shadow around there. A little bit of shadow around there. A little bit of shadow around this one. There, I think that's better. For real this time. Okay, so that is all I'm doing with this. Okay, so now that that last layer of watercolor is dry, some things you can do is, if you want to add this to another larger piece, you could go around the edges with black, either black paint, or it's easier to use a black stamp pad. You could cut this overhanging piece off. I kind of like that overhanging piece, so on mine I'm gonna let it stay, but you can cut that off if it bothers you or it just doesn't fit for you. What I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to just put it in a frame. See? Imagine that, in a frame. That's what I'm doing with it. You can do that as well. You can take your small watercolor collage and frame it. So that is the end of this demonstration for our first using your mixed media kit by MoonFullArt. I look forward to you joining me for the next video on using your mixed media kit. Have a great day. Bye.